Alrighty, getting into Paladin. Paladin is seeing some interesting things this year as well. There's a bit of there's quite a few things going on. They got Murlocs going on. They have a bit of a control variant with Librams. It's a little all over the place, but we'll see what we can do here. We'll see what we got. Starting off with Hand of a Doll, 2 mana. Give a minion +2/+2, draw a card. So something a little comparable to this would be Flash of Light, which is also 2 mana, draw a card, but you heal for 4 instead of +2/+2. And Flash of Light gets played a lot, so this would get played in a more tempo-oriented deck. I can see this getting a lot of play. I mean, it seems like a solid card overall. Okay, moving right along to Imprisoned Sungill. 1 mana, 2/1, Murloc. Dormant for 2 turns. When this awakens, summon 2 1/1 Murlocs. So this is a bit of a slower card. You will have to wait till turn 3 for it to awaken, and then when it awakens, the Murlocs will not be able to attack, yes. But this does allow you to do some pretty cool combos with something like a Cold Light Seer or Murloc War Leader for future turns. So if you play this on turn 1, you get, on turn 3, you're going to have 2/1, 2/1/1s, you buff them all up, so Cold Light Seer is buffing up those guys, plus whatever you played on turn 2. This should be a pretty good card for Murlocs. I don't know if you run 2 of them, it might be a little slow. But I do think this is overall a good card. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. I think it might be really bad if you draw it later on in the game, but it does allow for a really good beginning to your game here. The next card we see, a legendary for Murloc. It's the Prime Murgurgle. It's Murgurgle. It's a 2 mana, 2/1. Divine Shield, Death Rattle, shuffle Murgurgle Prime into your deck. And Murgurgle Prime is an 8 mana, 6/3 Divine Shield Murloc. Battlecry, summon 4 random Murlocs, give them Divine Shield. Wow. This card is just, this is my favorite card of the whole entire expansion. I'm not even joking. 5 out of 5 stars. 2 mana, I mean, this guy on his own is very good. A 2 mana, 2/1 Divine Shield Murloc. If you buff that up with Murloc War Leader, or you give it Poisonous with Toxfin. Yeah, so I mean, this is just a really solid Murloc overall. And then once you reach that Prime, that's just like a better tip to Scales. You're getting the Divine Shield, you're getting the Scale Lord buff on your Murlocs, and 4 Murlocs is a lot of Murlocs, and then you can buff them next turn and just push for lethal. Yeah, this card's a 5 out of 5, easy 5 out of 5. One of the best primes that we've seen. My favorite card of the expansion. I can't wait to be playing with it. Okay, next card we see here, Libram of Justice. Equip a 1/4 weapon, change the health of all enemy minions to 1, and it's a 6-cost spell. So this card is pretty comparable to Varanus, which is a 7/6 for 6 mana. Has the same effect, but you don't get the weapon, of course. And now with Shrink Ray rotating out, this does seem like a pretty reliable, efficient way to deal with the board, to deal with a big board as a Paladin. Is it good enough to run? Maybe. If we have the new Libram cards, if it does get discounted by the new Libram cards that we're about to see, this should be a lot better of a card. Overall, I think it's pretty good. It's not anything too crazy. I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5. This card is Libram of Wisdom. 2 mana spell. Give a minion +1/+1 and Death Rattle. Add a Libram of Wisdom spell to your hand. So this is exactly like the Explorer's Hat that used to be in Hunter. And that did not really see too much play because it was a bit slow. But Hunter is also a more aggressive class, so Paladin's trying to assume this identity of control, so this might actually be decent in Paladin. You do kind of get infinite value, but you have to wait until the minion dies, of course. I'm going to give this card a 3.5 out of 5. It's good if you can prolong the game. I just don't know how much +1/+1 is going to do for you. I'm actually going to give it a 3 out of 5. Aldor Truth Seeker, 5 mana, 4/6. Taunt, Battle Cry, reduce the cost of your Librams by 2 this game. So, I mean, this card is really good with the Librams, of course. It makes them pretty much playable. Without a card like this, then they wouldn't really be worth running. So if you, then the problem is if you don't draw this is going to force you to play 2 of these in your deck, which is going to take up some more slots that you might not have, which will then maybe force you to play something like a no neutral Paladin, which maybe it won't be viable enough. Reducing the cost of the Librams by 2 is actually a lot, but if you don't draw this card, then it's going to be kind of horrible. I think this card is solid overall. The Librams, discounting the Librams has, just on paper, seems like it'll be very good. So I'll give it a 4. Are Librams going to be played? I don't know. I don't think so, but definitely going to test it out. Sticking with the Libram theme, Libram of Hope. Just like we're hoping that Librams will be good. I think. I don't even know if we want them to be good. 9 mana, restore 8 health, summon an 8/8 Guardian with Taunt and Divine Shield. So as a 9 mana card, this is pretty good. It's kind of comparable to Ragnaros the Light Lord. You summon an 8 mana, you pay 8 mana for 8/8, you heal 8 to theoretically your face. Actually, well, you get to actually target with this one, so it does make it a little better. And Ragnaros the Light Lord was played, so I think that this card is actually pretty good at 9 mana, and if you actually get to reduce this, maybe you could reduce it to, let's see, if you could actually reduce this to 3, to cost 3 mana, which is pretty insane. I mean, that's obviously the dream, but I think this card, even at like 6 or 7 mana, should be very, very good. So I give this card so I give this card a 4 out of 5. I think it's very strong. I mean, again, it's stronger if you discount it, but just overall as a card, it seems very good. Moving right along to the second legendary that Paladin's gonna get, Lady Liadrin. 7 mana, 4/6. Battle Cry, add a copy of each spell you cast on your friendly characters this game to your hand. So, I mean, the things that come to mind are Blessing of Kings, Blessing of Might, the new Libram that we just saw. This is actually kind of insane with the new Libram, because if you've cast maybe 3 or 4 Librams on your guys, then you're going to be getting all those Librams back to your hand. They're going to cost 0 each, so could be really good. You could also get another Libram of Hope back to your hand if you casted one of those as well on one of your friendly characters. Yeah, this card seems like it has to be run with the Librams to make it work. It is a bit slow, of course, but if you can get the dream off, I think this is actually very, very good. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5 just because it's a bit slow, but overall, I think it's a good card if you have time to play it. Okay, the last card for Paladin, the Underlight Angling Rod. That's what that's another nickname for something else, if you know what I mean. All right, 3 mana, 3/2 weapon. After your hero attacks, add a random Murloc to your hand. So this is the first time we're seeing a Murloc-inspired weapon, which is very cool. And adding a random Murloc to your hand is usually pretty decent. There are a lot of good Murlocs, especially now with this new Murloc in the pool. And it's just a pretty decent weapon. It's the same exact stats as Fiery War Axe, which is played sometimes, or used to be played a bit. Yeah, I think this card is a great card for Murlocs in general. That's the only deck you're going to be running it in, but it's a 5 out of 5 card.